On my 18th birthday, I clutched the 800 yuan I'd earned washing dishes in the school cafeteria for what felt like ages. I invited my parents and my brother to join me for hotpot at Haidaleo. But in the end, they stood me up. They went to Disney with my adopted sister instead. The fireworks in her WeChat moments stung my eyes. I couldn't help but call, wanting to demand. Compared to her, aren't I your real family? But before I could speak, my adopted sister's giggling voice came through the phone. Big sis, you can't really be so dumb as to think we'd go celebrate your birthday with you, right? Does she really not know she's actually the baby mom and dad picked out of a hospital trash can? Otherwise, why would everyone treat her worse than me, an adopted daughter? In that moment, the fog in my heart cleared. So, I'm not their child. No wonder they threw me to grandma in the countryside when I was little. No wonder they never liked me. Then I don't need to beg for that pathetic bit of affection anymore. I filled out the Harvard University application, then bought myself a one-way ticket to the U.S. But when I really left, they came crying and begging. Sway, you are our biological child. Your sister was just joking. How could you take it seriously? I looked at their reddened eyes and smiled. But I did take it seriously. 1. Closing the application page, I finally had time to look at the hot pot spread on the table. This meal wasn't cheap. To afford it, I'd washed dishes in the school cafeteria for over half a year. I'd ordered mom's favorite tripe, dad's beloved pork throat, my brother's never enough shrimp paste, and for my adopted sister, the beef rolls she always had to have. The table was full of their favorite dishes. Only when I picked up my chopsticks did I realize I hadn't considered myself once while ordering. But it's fine. Now that I'm done begging for their shallow affection, I'll learn to love myself. Like right now, I found that even hot pot is fine to eat alone. Even without any birthday wishes, the cake still tasted sweet. Besides, the Haidaleo waitress sang happy birthday for me. I wasn't lonely today. Back home, they had returned from Disney too. Seeing me, mom's expression faltered for a second. Then she handed me a Disney plush toy. Sway, your birthday gift. Sorry, we were going to come celebrate with you, but your sister got top 10 in her class this time, and we promised her a trip to Disney as a reward. So we changed plans last minute. You've always been a sensible child. You understand, right? I looked up at this woman who, when I was very small, would also hold me, call me Nan, and say she couldn't bear to be apart from me. I used to adore her so much. Loved her. Was crazy to return to her side. But when I came back from the countryside to this home, I found a new girl already living here. Mom started calling only her Nan. Her embrace was for her alone now. In the past, I'd get jealous and hurt. But now, I just felt relief. So, just like my adopted sister, I'm also a child they picked up. No wonder they don't love me. It makes sense. I nodded lightly. I don't blame you. After saying that, I didn't take the toy, the same one in my sister's WeChat moments, dirty from being stepped on. I walked straight toward my room. Behind me was mom's dissatisfied voice. We even gave her a gift, and she's still like this. Doesn't know how to be close at all. No wonder I don't like her. My adopted sister's voice, tinged with fake tears, said, "It's all my fault for insisting on going to Disney. Sis must be mad at me. I shouldn't have asked for a reward at all, woo-woo." My steps were suddenly blocked by a force from the side. My brother, as if crazed, shoved me to the floor. My forehead hit the corner of the wall with a sharp pain. Lin Sway, apologize to Yaya right now. So what if we missed your birthday? Do you have to make the whole family unhappy? My brother sneered at me, spitting out cruel words one by one. But you, an abandoned baby picked from a trash can, what makes you worth our time and effort for a birthday? 2. I looked up at my brother in shock. The sneer on his face only grew wider. Don't play dumb. I know you heard everything Yaya said on the phone. Yes, you were picked up. So we favor Yaya, dislike you. That's why you were raised in the countryside until you were 12. Because you have no real relation to our family. I looked at mom and dad. They watched me silently. Finally, they nodded quietly. My hand trembled. Something in my heart shattered completely. My brother said through gritted teeth, "Now you see how wrong you've been, right? You and Yaya are both adopted by our family. Yet you act like the biological daughter, competing with Yaya at every turn. But you, an outsider, a piece of trash who always ranks last in exams. What right do you have to compete? It's laughable. Want us to celebrate your birthday? Then have the skill to get top 10 in class too." Lin Yu hid behind my brother, giving me a mocking smile. Suddenly, it all felt utterly pointless. It really is laughable. I, an adopted daughter just like Lin Yu, what am I competing for? even though I know I'm actually not adopted. Ever since I returned to this home at 12, my life has been hell. If I got close to mom and dad, Linyu would be upset. If my exam scores were slightly better than hers, she'd be unhappy. If a teacher praised me, Linyu would throw tantrums at home. To keep Linyu happy, they forbade me from getting close to them, from scoring better than her, even from standing out or being praised by teachers at school, because it would make Linyu unhappy. If I refused, they'd lock me in the pitch-black basement until I gave in. So at 15, fed up, I took their hair to a paternity testing center in secret. I thought, I must not be their child. If I were biological, they'd never treat me like this. I wanted the report to apply for an orphanage. But to my surprise, the result came back. Biological relationship supported. I really was their biological child. Seeing that result, I nearly broke down. I didn't understand. If I'm their biological child, why would they prefer an adopted daughter over loving me? Is it because I was raised for 12 years by grandma, whom mom hated, so she hates me by association? I've searched for the answer for 18 years and never found it. But in this moment, I understood. In this world, not all family naturally loves their own children. Since that's the case, don't force it. Let's just pretend I was picked up. After all, I've never truly had a family anyway. I wiped the blood from my forehead, stood up, and bowed solemnly to Linyu. I'm sorry, Yaya. Before, I didn't know the truth and always opposed you. From now on, I, a mere guest, won't be so ungrateful anymore. Yes, never again. Since I'm not their biological child anyway, why should I fight for their love? Linyu, as if startled, covered her mouth. Sis, what are you saying? Whether you're adopted or not, you'll always be my real sister in my heart. Your forehead is bleeding again. Let me see. Her outstretched hand was yanked away by my brother. Don't bother with her. She loves acting pitiful. Careful, or she'll use your kindness against you again. Each word cut like a knife. I wiped away the physiological tears at the corners of my eyes in embarrassment, covered my wound, and walked toward my room. Mom and Dad watched me, seeming moved. But looking at my brother and Linyu, they ultimately said nothing. As the door closed, I heard Mom say, "See you, aren't we acting too harshly? What if Sui Sui really believes she was picked up?" My brother Lin Siyu laughed. Even better. She's so competitive, always fighting Yaya for everything. She deserves to be punished. We can tell her the truth after the college entrance exams. It's not too late. I smiled bitterly to myself, quietly closed the door. Brother, I don't need to know the truth. The identity of being picked up suits me just fine. Let it be. 3. I sat in my room, wiping my wound in front of the mirror. The past 18 years slowly surfaced. Now a little girl, sitting at the village entrance day after day, waiting for Mom to come get me. Now the me, after Grandma died, realizing there was no place for me in this home. The me falsely accused by Lin Yu of breaking her birthday gift, slapped hard by Lin Siyu. The me despised by my parents, who said they wished they'd never brought me back, crouched on the floor crying. Finally, all turning into the me waiting for my family at the hotpot restaurant for my birthday, who never showed up. Creak. The door suddenly opened. Without turning, I knew it was Lin Yu. This was her favorite trick. After I got scolded by the whole family because of her, she'd come comfort me, just to gloat in my face. Sis, does it hurt? She said with a giggle. Finding out you're adopted too, do you just want to die? We're both adopted daughters. Who's better than who? Yet you fought me every day, and you still couldn't win. You're just too funny. Mom, Dad, and brother have always loved me the most. Then she covered her mouth, unable to hold back her laughter. She said this to me countless times. Every time, it made me furious. Because of this, I've slapped her, thrown milk at her. But this time, it all felt so pointless. I dabbed the wound on my forehead. Since it makes you so happy, I'll leave them all to you then. Maybe my expression was too calm, robbing Lin Yu of some satisfaction. She glared at me viciously. Stop acting all high and mighty, pretending to be magnanimous. At the end of the day, you're just a loser who can't compete with me. Let me tell you, everything I have now, I fought for. It's not something you gave. I'll make you see reality clearly right now. With that, she messed up her own hair, then threw herself to the floor, screaming, Sis, don't hit me. I'll never go to Disney again. 4. The door was pushed open violently. The next second, Mom's hand landed hard on my face. Lin Sui Sui, how could you treat your sister like this? You're just rotten to the core. Mom's words were extremely harsh, making me tremble with hurt. Dad helped Lin Yu up from the floor, huffing angrily. Lin Sui, you've gone too far this time. We know you're jealous that Yaya scores better than you, that she pleases us more. But why can't you recognize your own status? You're just an adopted daughter of this family, an orphan of unknown origin picked from a trash can. You're not even as clean as Yaya. At least we know her parents were our deceased friends. A bastard like you. What makes you think you can compete with Yaya? A bastard? Dad's words pierced my heart like a sharp sword. The pain so intense I almost doubled over. My brother looked at me with eyes full of hatred. I think some people have been living too comfortably in our house. In that case, get out of here. After all, you're just a bastard we picked from the trash. If we don't teach you a lesson, you'll never learn gratitude. With that, my brother shoved me out of the villa. Then my luggage was thrown out roughly after me. Mom, Dad, brother, and Lin Yu stood on the villa steps, looking down at me. Like total strangers. The corners of my eyes stung. What more are you hoping for? Let it be. I opened my mouth and heard myself say, "Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Lin, for your care all these years. Since I now know my identity, it really isn't appropriate for me to stay here any longer. Could you give me my page from the household register? So I won't disturb you again in the future." Mom covered her mouth, starting to cry. Dad suppressed his anger, breathing heavily. My brother looked me over coldly, then suddenly laughed. "Fine, take it. After all, we never added a bastard like you to our household register anyway." That's right. My household registration has always been in the countryside, with Grandma. After Grandma passed, that page only has my name on it. Over the years, I secretly hoped countless times that Mom and Dad would add me to their household register, to see my name alongside theirs. But every time they considered it, something would happen. Either Lin Yu got sick, or Lin Yu wanted to go out and play, or Lin Yu had a parent-teacher meeting. So it got delayed day after day. I used to be disappointed. But now, it actually works in my favor. That single page of the household register was tossed over lightly by my brother. Holding it, I wanted to say something more. But my brother had already slammed the door shut mercilessly. His voice came through the heavy door, muffled. "Mom, Dad, don't soften up. If we don't teach her a lesson, she'll never learn." Silence inside for a long moment. Then Mom's voice. "Yes, she does need to be taught a lesson. She should come back begging on her knees to apologize to our Yaya. That's the only way." Standing in the night, I smiled bitterly to myself. "I won't be coming back, Mom. The moment you told me I'm a bastard picked up from the trash, I decided never to return. Let's just make a clean break." It suddenly started raining outside, but I didn't think about going back for an umbrella. This home never sheltered me from storms before. I certainly don't expect it to now. I pulled my collar up and ran into the curtain of rain. Finally, just before hypothermia set in, I caught a taxi. 5. I moved into the school dormitory. That rain still gave me a fever. I slept for several days straight before getting somewhat better. On the day I fully recovered, Harvard University accepted my application. All these years, Lin Yu suppressed me, not letting my scores surpass hers. But in places she couldn't see, I participated in countless competitions and exams. That's why I passed the Harvard application so smoothly. They sincerely invited me to attend their university and offered me a full scholarship. Seeing the acceptance letter, I let out a long sigh of relief. "Lin Yu, top 10 in your class, you're no longer my rival." In the following days, I informed my homeroom teacher I wouldn't be attending school anymore, then used all my time to work part-time jobs to save up for a one-way ticket to the US. Working was actually quite happy. The people I met, knowing I was a student working to support my studies, praised me for being sensible. They were very kind to me. Sometimes even brought me homemade lunches. Until my second month working at a bakery, I ran into Mom, Dad, and brother coming to buy a birthday cake for Lin Yu. Seeing me, Mom covered her mouth in shock. Sui, why are you working here? Your brother only made you move out for a few days to teach you a lesson. How did you end up like this?" My brother sneered. "Lin Sui, you're something else. No wonder Yaya said she hasn't seen you at school lately. So you dropped out and came here to work. You're such an embarrassment. Our family has never had someone who didn't even finish high school." I smiled. "Yeah, well, I'm not part of your family anyway. So there's nothing to be surprised about. All right, esteemed customers, chit-chat over. Please take your cake and leave." With that, I handed over the cake they'd ordered. My mom started crying sadly. Sui, don't be like this. No matter what, you'll always be Mom's child." Her child? I looked at my brother in his expensive suit and Lin Yu in her haute couture. I really couldn't see how me, in my Jishu Yuan t-shirt, was also her child. Seeing Mom emotionally breaking down, Lin Yu, her eyes dark and inscrutable, walked over. Reaching for the cake, she said, "Sis, I know you're angry with me, but don't hurt Mom's heart. She actually misses you the most." "Ow, sis, don't." With her scream, the 1,000 yuan cake fell to the floor, smashed into an ugly mess. Lin Yu fell back onto the floor in fright. My brother charged over furiously. "Lin Sui Sui, you never learn." Dad also roared angrily toward me. "Manager, where's your manager? Come out here right now."